Good day and a warm welcome to another video of Peters de Villiers and Associates. I'm Rian Peters, the senior partner, and we're busy with a series of videos regarding the employment relationship. Last time we touched on the importance of the recruitment phase of the employment relationship, and today we're going to touch on the importance of the probation period. Now, probation periods sometimes is very confusing to certain employers. They think that the probation period must be a specific period as prescribed by law, and this is not so. The probation period, normally in a contract of employment, there'll be a clause, a probation clause, which normally has a probation period of approximately 3 months, but it doesn't have to be 3 months. Probation periods can be either shorter or longer, also depending on the specific position that's being filled. If it is a position where the performance of the employee can be measured fairly easily and fairly quickly, and it's not too sophisticated, you can have a probation clause of 1 month if you want, or 2 months. And in instances where it's a more sophisticated job description, it may be a requirement that the probation period is longer than 3 months, 4 months possibly. But what is also important is the fact that the probation period is a period for both the employer and the employee to assess whether they actually want to work with each other, whether the employee is fit for doing the job, and from the employer's side, whether he or she feels that she fits in or he fits in to the organization. In the probation period, it can also be the employee that gives notice and says, this isn't for me. It's not the position that I thought it was, and therefore I want to give notice. The notice periods for the probation period, for the probation, while a person is in probation, an employee, those notice periods are given in the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, and both the employer and the employee has to adhere to that. What is very important within the probation period is that the employer must assess the employee on a continuous basis. These assessments must preferably be done in writing, and it would take the form of the employer and the employee sitting and the position being evaluated. If there's a direct supervisor, that direct supervisor will be part of the evaluation to ensure that the employee on a month-to-month basis is assessed, and that if there are any problems, that it's reduced to writing and that it is shown to the employee, and also that advice is given in terms of how he or she can correct what is not satisfactory. In many instances, I will have a client or potential client asking me to do a poor work performance hearing or inquiry to end the probation period, and they'll say, well, this employee just isn't cutting it. I will then ask, well, did you do formal assessments with this employee in question over the probation period or during the probation period? And they'll say, no, we didn't really have time to do that. We wanted to, but we didn't. And then the answer is very simple. And then it is extremely difficult to terminate the employment of that employee in the probation period, because there are no formal assessments reduced to writing, and therefore how at the CCMA will the employer show that they actually pointed out what the employer was doing wrong and what measures they took as employer to assist the employee in actually correcting those mistakes or faults. So very, very important to reduce it to writing. During a 3-month probation period, it can be done once a month. It can even be done twice a month if you want to be even more careful during this period to assess whether this employee is actually fit for this position or not. A probation period can also be extended. In other words, if there's a 3-month probation period as per the clause in the contract of employment, and you've done the evaluations and you feel as employer that you don't want to terminate employment, but that there are still a few issues that are not satisfactory, then it can actually also be extended in writing, and then evaluated in the months to come. Probation is a very, very important part of the employment relationship. It's right at the start of the employment relationship, and it is extremely important that the evaluations are done well. We, as a firm, also assist our clients where these facilitations are done, where we actually act as an independent facilitator when these performance reviews are done during the probation period. It is very important to do this the right way in order to ensure that either you terminate the employment relationship on a fair basis, if that must be done, or otherwise ensuring that you have the employee that is fit and suitable for the particular position that you have appointed them, where you have appointed them. So probation, a very interesting subject. I can say much more about it. I try and keep these videos as short as possible, as to not to bore you. So lots more that can be said about the probation period. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us via our Facebook page. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you find these videos interesting, or email or contact us via our cell phones or landline. Thank you very much for listening to the video, and God bless.